Though we hope this won't happen to you, it's possible that there could be an emergency situation when you're with the caregiver or care recipient. This could be a fall or a suspected heart attack or anything else that puts the caregiver or care recipient, or if they seem to be in distress, call 911. We do not expect you to give CPR or act in a medical capacity. You're not trained for that, or we're not training you for that as a volunteer. It's not your responsibility. So just call 911 if you get into a situation that you think either caregiver or care recipient needs immediate medical attention. That being said, I know a lot of you actually have medical background. Some of you are nurses and have other training. So if you feel comfortable giving CPR and confident before rescue personnel arrive, then by all means. But please notify the care team staff after the incident and everybody is safe. Around that same note, I wanted to talk a little bit about reporting abuse and neglect. If you observe or suspect abuse, neglect, abandonment, financial exploitation, and physical assault, please notify the care team staff. Document these things in writing and take action if it's something that you witness. But if you just suspect, put it in writing and notify the care team staff. There's a difference between suspecting abuse and witnessing abuse. And I just want to make that very clear, that if you're visiting someone who, has a bruise on them, or their apartment is messier than you expected and you feel like they're not being taken care of well, that's more of a suspected condition. You don't know their full background, and this would be something that we would want to know as care team staff. We might be able to get some services in to support them, and so you would want to report that to us before you got any kind of local or governmental officials involved in the situation. Often there can be a good explanation for certain things, so that would be a suspected situation. If you actually witness a physical assault or something of that nature, then you should call local law enforcement. That might be a 911 situation if it's extreme. And there's also the Department of Social and Health Services that are open for calls at any time and for any emergency calls. And that if you witness something like that and you need to act immediately, then we recommend that you call a local authority. But for most cases, when you're visiting a caregiver, a care recipient, you might find, you might have somebody who's grumpy or in a bad mood. That's more typical kind of thing that you're going to be encountering rather than these extreme kind of situations. But we want you to be prepared. Avoid fixing. Many people think that one way to help someone is to try to help fix their problems. However, this expectation can set up everyone for feeling some frustration, misunderstanding, or even estrangement. Although some people may really want to be fixed, the hazards of fixing are many and include: fixing isn't always possible or helpful. It's not always possible to fix someone's problems. For example, someone who's grieving, you can't really fix that for them. Unfortunately, it's a process that they have to go through. Fixing detracts from or ignores another person's rights and responsibilities to make choices based on their own values. As you're getting to know the care participants, you may not know them well enough to know how to help them fix themselves, so it's just an area that you should stay away from or stay out of. Fixing may be poorly timed. A person may want help and might think that they want to change or need fixing in some area. But if you are trying to help and they're not ready, it can land badly. Efforts to fix are usually based on incomplete information about a situation. It's meeting the background from which it comes. Often when you try to help or fix someone, it can just land wrong because you don't know what they've tried, and they may feel disrespected by some of the things that you attempt to advise them about. And that can turn a relationship sideways. So it's better to leave it to the professionals. The care participants that you're working with are typically connected with some social services of some sort, a social worker, a psychotherapist, different services that are supporting them with their needs. So your job really is just to see where you can most be useful to the caregiver, and they can inform you about that.